welcome back to Hyde's Lanes, right in the heart of White Oak area, west part of town, west north, I guess. And you are looking at Ralph Goyette. You may see on the back of his shirt it says Boyette. That has been the topic of conversation, or I should say the barbs. Many jokes around here this morning.
The barbs have been flying for sure. Ralph, we talked about it last week, Tommy, about the how all four players were laid back and just basically still. Our camera guys had a kind of a cakewalk last week. You know, nobody ran out too much, but Ralph's going to be bouncing around and moving around a little bit. He's a very, very animated type of player.
That he is.
Of course, from Hyde's Lanes here, the manager is Butch Heid, who's been very gracious this morning, and the owner is his father, Walter Heid.
Butch is a fine, fine man. Always enjoy getting a chance to talk with him. Run into him occasionally downtown. And Ron Bohnert.
And don't try to adjust your color, by the way, because those socks he has on are very green, and they are very lucky, apparently.
And at this point, since he's had them on since St. Patrick's Day, they're probably very lethal, too.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Green shoelaces, green socks. He does have good footwork on top of everything else. Ron Bohnert, right-hand lane, opens up the match with a spare.
Yes, indeed he does. Ron is 24 years old. Works maintenance out at Lakeshore Apartments. He is engaged. So many of those checks from the Lakeshore Apartments will be...
Well, let's don't get into this again.
Let's not touch this after last year.
That was another part of the conversation getting ready to this morning's show.
The women control 80% of the wealth as it is, Tom.
You got it.
Look at this shot. That's the shot you want to see. Left-hand lane, he just absolutely nails the pocket. Watch it on the replay. Here we go. 1-2 pocket. Look at this. Big, tall guy stays down at the foul line. Then after the ball's gone, he comes up, keeps it out there around the third board for about 50 feet, and then it cracks back. Excellent shot. Ron Bohnert, left lane, going to issue a challenge to Mr. Goyette. Ralph Goyette. Great player.
He wanted that one. But the 10 would not fall, so he will try once again. A bit of spare shooting here after picking up a spare in the first.
Ralph was in the roll-off this morning against Steve Bruck, in which he was victorious, 204 to 188.
He was victorious, Jen, but he missed one of these in the roll-off, which let Steve Bruck back into the match. Not going to miss it this time. Ralph Goyette has the ball to win, but he really hasn't been throwing a lot of big numbers up there recently, and says he hasn't been practicing quite as much as he should. But he's got a lot of talent. He's got a few credentials to his credit.
He and his father are in business together and have a plant here in Cincinnati and also one out in Albuquerque. Says he's thinking about the possibility of moving out there next year.
New Mexico, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty territory out there, I hear.
It's excellent territory, and Ralph throws a good shot here. Trusts the ball. Take a look at it. He lets this ball out. Doesn't really overhit the shot. He just rolls it. Gets out to around that fourth board, and then it starts to roll back. It deflects a little bit when it hits the pocket, but the 5-pin does the job. Gets out of the way anyway. 7-pin goes out, but Ron Bohnert threw an absolute bomb in frame number 2. Let's see how he does on the right-hand lane.
Bombs away.
Bombs away, right. Take a look at his footwork here. We talked about it before. He's got some good footwork. There's those green socks we're talking about. Ooh, ugly, ugly socks, but great footwork. Stays down with the shot, gets this ball down the lane. Now watch it roll off. Wow. Everything's out of here, downtown for Ron Bohnert. He's got a double working going into the 4th frame.
And we'd like to wish you all a happy Easter today.
Absolutely.
I hope the Easter Bunny brought you lots of goodies.
Bunny? It's little girl's got one of those.
Wow, is he throwing a good ball.
Mashes 10 more.
He's taking a look at it. Let's watch it here on the split screen if we could. Thank you. These shots are marvelous. Should get a shot at it there. It's good knee bend. Excellent follow through. He knows he rolled it pretty clean. He's walking this one out. He's not even running it out. Red Sea strike.
The big left-hander knocking him down with a whole lot of consistency thus far. Ralph Goyette going to try to come back. Oh, did he bring that back?
Well, we talked about it before the match came on. We looked at the conditioning on the lane, and Ralph's ball, every time he would get the ball outside of 5 at 40 feet. Now, remember, our lane's about 60 feet long, folks. So 40 foot is just a little bit past 2/3 of the way down. If the ball's outside of 5, he's going to strike. If he gets it in, he's got a chance of leaving a weak 10, or who knows what else. Let's see if he keeps this ball way wide further down the lane.
Not out there.
No. See, he got the ball in. He got the ball in, and it never, ever went into that true roll that you're looking at. Let's take a look at it here on the replay. He knows he got the ball in, and he does not like what he sees, because this ball is not going to go out towards it. Look at him. Disappointment. No, hook, he says. It's not going to hook when you get the ball in. This comes from knowing what's on the lane and being able to play the surface, Tommy. A lot of players at home, in your normal league condition, may be trying to get the ball to the pocket, and not knowing the best way to get there is to take the ball away from the pocket.
Bohnert red hot after the first frame. He's come back with a triple. They're trying to make it 4 in a row here.
Got a 12-pin lead, we'll project. But he can turn that better with another strike here to make it 4 in a row.
He sure can, Jennifer. If he keeps this ball wide, look out. Oh, it held up for him. Looks like he's really utilizing the area on that lane.
Boy, does he have the line.
He's got the line and he's got the release. Let's take a look at his hand here. He stays well underneath the ball. Now at the foul line, watch this. Just really cranks up from underneath the bottom of the shot. This ball goes down the lane, starts to roll, holds a little bit right there. I was expecting that ball to roll off a little harder and leave a 6-pin, but nevertheless.
He had some good speed on it too that held it there.
Absolutely perfect. You heard him, now ball, and it did. It made the move at that right time.
Make it 5 in a row. Sorry, David.
Ralph Goyette's got his hands full here, Tommy. This is the kind of bowler we tuned in to see, huh?
You know it.
And of course, we're only in the 5th or 6th frame, so Ralph's got to get on track here, though, and start ringing up some strikes.
Bohnert a 110 in the 4th and working on a double.
Nope. Weak 10. You could see it coming.
Why? How?
Got the ball in again, Tommy. Those of you at home that taping the show, replay that one, and you're going to see the ball in around the 7th or 8th board. And it just does not hit off. The balls that'll go out to the 4th board will come back and absolutely devastate the pocket.
Our technical director over here today, Robert Swan.
Get out of that chair.
Doing a great job
been
over there,
off
Robert.
been out all night or something tonight. Last night, I'm not real sure. Getting some serious crib action out here this morning.
Ron Bonner's looking for some serious action. He's, what's he looking at? His stock report? His portfolio? He really?
His socks.
He's looking at the stock report.
Open this shot up here. What's he looking at?
He's looking to do. Oh,
he's playing with his ring.
his rings.
Okay, that'll work.
Whatever works.
Whatever he does, keep you mellow, right?
You got 5 in a row. You do whatever you want.
You got that right. Let's see if this ball gets outside of 5.
It's close.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
That's the reaction you want to see on the ball, but does not give Ralph the reaction he wants at the pocket. Take a look at this ball. Really should strike because he gets it out into that hook area. Watch it here. Gets outside of 5 right about now. That's 40 feet. He's rooting at home. He thinks it's going to strike. I think it's going to strike. The 6-pin's got other ideas, however.
Dave, I want to get back to a point you mentioned a couple of minutes ago for the folks at home that may bowl in the league and so forth, and learning the conditions of your lanes. Obviously, though, these lanes are quite a bit different in terms of being dressed with some of the oils than maybe some of the other lanes would in just natural or normal league play.
Every house has its own peculiarities or differences, Tommy, and it's good that you pick that up. If you're bowling on wood, Everything's are going to be different. You know, they've got their own characteristics, and even though you may apply the oil very similar, you are going to get different reactions on the ball, and you have to learn that shot. Watch this shot. Solid 7. Watch the 4-pin. Second one from the left-hand side of your screen. Ron thinks it's there. We all think it's there. There's the 4-pin going to the wall, right around the belly of the 7. Bad break for Ron Bohnert.
It's just amazing that that pin can actually do that with that type of speed and trajectory and just whip right around it and not touch it at all. True tap.
He was worried there for a second, I think, when he let it go. Came back. So in the 6th frame, he is staring at a 159.
33 pins in favor of Ron Bohnert through the 7th frame. Both players with a spare up in the 7th.
I look for Bohnert to get back on track here with a strike.
That was just a bad break on that last lane.
He's there again.
Another bad break, identical hit.
I tell you what, though, Jan, when you folks at home, and I've had a few of you come up and ask me, what do you do when you're consistently leaving the 10 or the 7? All depends on what kind of 7 or 10 you're leaving. If you're leaving them like that, don't change a thing. There's really no adjustment you can make other than to just keep it in play and keep making your spares. Now, if you're leaving a weak 10, you can adjust off of that, or a weak 7, but not those shots.
Spare shooting has been good so far, continues to be.
He's rooting it home a little bit there.
Yeah, he was. Hook. That he was. Well, Ralph Goyette knows he's in trouble.
Spin the ball there a little bit extra. There's Miss Weiler, our Partridge Meats representative. Good shot, Ralph. Unbelievable. On a great shot. He almost pays the penalty with a blowout 7-10. Let's see if we can take it here on his release. Power, yeah, we got it from both sides of the lanes. Watch, it stays way underneath the ball. Just straps it for all it's worth. It's in the area, but watch the last 2 pins to go down. The 7 and the 10. The head pin finally has to come all the way across the lane on a tripper. Takes the 10 out.
In a crucial situation, too, when he needs to strike and pick up 33 pins. There's no way to pick those up unless you start striking.
He was looking above for help.
Well, there you see it. If you want to take a look at Ralph Goyette's 7th and 8th frames, you see 9 counts from every frame other than the ones he's struck on, which means he's keeping the ball in play. Last 2 shots especially, very good, not in there. Well, 23 pins, Jen, as you said before, it's not insurmountable, but we're running out of paper.
Goyette has to strike and start right now. No other 2 ways about it.
Aha! He figured out a way to keep the ball in and still strike.
Now he can still get to 225 if he takes it all the way out in the 10th. And Ron Bohnert's going at a 238 pace, which means he'll strike and spare out for 238.
Well, the scores are very high to qualify here.
That they were, Tommy, and it looks like we're going to see some of that sampling here in our first match in this show. Scores are going to be up there. Carry ball. You don't have to worry about it when you throw them like that. That ball was a little lighter in the pocket than the 2 crash 7s. Take a look at it here. It's not quite as snug up into the 1-2 as those 2 solid 7s he left. A little light. Yeah, carry ball. He's already said that. And there's the reaction, a scout and a half. Ron Bohnert can just really put this match out of here with any kind of a count on this ball. But it's gone.
That's going to be all she wrote right there.
Well, Ron will move on. And down the road, should he win his next game, would be, of course, in the final, would be against Dave Callery if he should win his 2nd game.
Well, it'll be lefty against lefty next game.
Ron was the Bowl Down Cancer State Finals runner-up, and I believe that the city finals, will be held next weekend. I'm not sure where that is, but that's a great tournament, and it sure does good for the cancer effort. Try and fight that.
Since my two cohorts here are chicken to try this last
I was
name,
getting ready to.
Paul Massminster. And if that isn't right, we'll find out exactly how to say it going into next match. But he'll be coming from the left-hand side of the lane also, so it will be lefty against lefty.
Who's he?
Match number 2. Paul Massminster, huh? We'll check that out here.
And we're going to be seeing a lot of revolutions between the two of them. They really, both of them, just rip the ball. There you go, Ralph.
Ralph has really thrown a much better game than his score is going to indicate. And when we get out of here to go to station break, note every frame that isn't a strike is a 9 count.
Well, the same was true with Bohnert.
Exactly, Tommy.
Same was true.
Two players that kept the ball in play the entire time, excuse me. And one of which is going to go on to our next match. And that will be Ron Bohnert.
We had no opens either.
Yeah, he's saying, yeah, now,
Yeah.
of all times.
Where was this before? I tell you, just take a break here. You know, you folks at home, you watch the show week after week. You watch the Reds baseball. You really don't appreciate these cameramen as much. They let me try to work one of the cameras before, and believe me, you guys would have thought we were filming from the deck of the Essex Titanic, as bad as I was. We've got a crack crew here, and they do a good job. Ralph Goyette is out of here. We're going to be going to the Golden Ball. Just witnessed an excellent 238 by Ron Bohnert to defeat Ralph Goyette. Stick around. Got to give away some cash.